Hello again. Well, you see before you a HP laptop. As you can see, it's working all right. Well, actually it's not. There is a problem with this. The keypad is stuck down. The buttons left and right aren't working, and as you can see, it's really difficult to persuade the laptop that you're not actually clicking on that. In fact, I can't get it off that. So there's a problem with this pad here. Now I don't know if I'm going to have to replace it. It does look as if it's been pushed down because there's a little gap right down in the corner there, so I'm just wondering if, oh look, it's now decided it's off, whether it's been pushed down sort of underneath the clips or something like that. So we're going to have to take this to pieces and see what's causing. Oh, it clicked then, but then it's, yeah, there's definitely something not right about that. So I think we're going to have to take this to pieces and find out what's wrong with it. So first of all, I'm going to do an engineer's shutdown, basically like that. Let's unplug it and take it to pieces. Now I do know on these laptops there's two screws here, there's a couple of screws underneath this rubber foot here, and there's some couple of screws underneath here, this rubber foot here. The rubber foot actually is coming away in this corner, so the tape has gone on that, so let's use that to our advantage and pull that off like that. And this one should go the same way. If you're going to do this, by the way, don't pull on this rubber, because if you pull on the rubber it stretches it and you won't be able to get it back in again. So take it a little bit at a time and just gently pull it up. There we go. Right, I need a small screwdriver. Okay, let's get these screws out. Right, that's got all the screws out. What we have to do now is flip it back over, and this is the bit that I don't like. I need a spudger, so hang on and bear with me for a moment. I bought this kit a while ago. It's got loads of ends, you know, posi drives and the security drives. It's got spudgers in it like that, so I need one of them. Also on the flip side, it's got the screwdriver, some more different ends and some more spudgers, so I'll need these as well. Okay, and I say this is the bit that I don't like, but it's got to be done. Okay, that's now off. So this is the inside of the laptop, so we have to do safety first. First things first, we need to get the battery out. So there's a couple of screws holding this in. Right, that's the battery out, so that gives us access to the mouse pad, which is here. So there's a metal plate here, there's a couple of clips here which hold it in place, and there's a ribbon cable. So let's pop that ribbon cable off I need a little flat screwdriver. There it is. I knew I had one here somewhere. So we just lift the black cover up and then the cable pops out like that. Okay, let's get those flat screws out next. Right, that's got those out, so we'll gently bring this up. There we go, that's released that. And then we should have access to the... There we go. So, at this point, I think there's something black there. That's actually the screen. So, what I'm going to do to protect it, because what we don't want to do is crack the screen, I'm going to put this cloth inside like that. Okay, and that'll just protect the screen in the wake area here. Right, so let's have a look at this pad. So it looks like there's only one button, which is in the middle there. Let me zoom in for you. Here we go. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. So it looks like there's only one button, which is in the middle there. So I'm going to guess, is that when the mouse software detects which side of the pad your finger's at and it clicks against that button, it knows if it's a left or a right click. Okay, so what does that? So that goes like that. Oh, so that presses against this, so that presses against this, that button there. Although that button feels okay, it doesn't feel bad. I'm just going to bring the magnifying glass in. Okay, there's two lugs either side, they look okay. There's some springy ones here, they look a little bit flat, but they're not too bad. I'll lift them up just a little bit, give them a bit more springiness. There's some holders, what do you call them, flaps here. They look okay, a little bit bent, but okay. That one looks okay. Again, that one looks a little bit bent, but that's okay. So I think in general, I don't know if you can hear that, the actual button is working okay. Right, so it sits on these mounting screws here. Again, there's nothing out of line, there's no plastic cracked on there or anything, so it does actually look, it looks okay. Maybe it was just pushed in a bit too far and that's what stopped it. Sits in there nicely. There's nothing foul in the switch. There's just these two metal springy things holding it in place. So I'm just going to pull them up just a little bit more, just give it a little bit more springiness. Again, these look okay. They're screwed down anyway, so they're not going to go anywhere, are they? Right, well, I think I'll just put it back together again. And That doesn't look as if it's bent in any way. Oh, it is a bit bent there, look. That looks straight, so I wonder if that's, see, that's bent up. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can straighten that slightly. All I'm doing is just putting a little bit of pressure on it, just to straighten it up a bit more. I think it's still sticking up. Now, if I put it flat on the table like that, and there is a little gap there, so I'm just going to, again, just very slightly just bend that down a little bit like that. Okay. That's better. That sits better. The actual, I'm looking down the end here for the actual length of it. I think it is still slightly twisted. That looks better. Right, okay, so that's put that back in. So we've made the springiness on these a bit better. We've straightened out this bar a bit better. So let's put that back together again. There's definitely a bit of tension on there now. There wasn't when I took it out, so hopefully that will help. There's two little lugs just there and just there. So these end bits here just tuck underneath there. That must give it a bit of leverage as well. So that goes in there like that, and that goes down like that. There's a locating pin either side, so that's okay. Right, so that's got that back in place. We just need to put the 3 screws at the back. Right, okay, so that's got that back in place. So let's just give it a quick yep. That's clicking nicely, although when I press this side, okay, so that is working okay, although this side, which is obviously the left hand side when it's flipped over, does feel not as good as this side. Feels as if it's been pushed in a bit too far, but that is working okay. Right, let's get the cable in, and I'll need my magnifying glass for this. Right, okay, so that's got that in okay. So next thing we'll do, we'll pop the battery back in and then we'll give it a try. Okay, that's the battery back in. So what I'm going to do now is pop the top back on, but I'm not going to click it into place. I'm just going to gently rest it on there. Power up and let's give it a try. Now it's going to complain because we've took the battery out, so it's going to complain that the CMOS's time is out of sync. That's okay, we'll just restart it. Okay, that's now done, so the mouse pointer is working and we've got to click on there OK. We've got right click OK and we've got left click OK. Right, I'm going to type in the password, so shut your eyes for a moment. Okay, so we're in the program, we're in the laptop, and I've brought up this website called Mouse Test. And as you can see, it's got an image of a mouse on there and we can test the buttons. So left click and right click, you can see that that's now working okay. Alright, so all I need to do now is shut the laptop down again and we can put the screws in. Okay, that's all the screws in place. Let's just double check to make sure that the clickety clickety click is still clickety clickety clicketing. Yep, that's okay. And last but not least, we'll put our rubber feet back on again. Oops, sorry, that's the microphone. Yeah, that one stretched a bit, look. It's just one of those things on here, it's not very good. I might scrape that tape off and then do it again. But, yeah, that's not so bad. But that one's stretched. Right, okay, so there you have it. That is the laptop button hopefully fixed. Thanks for watching. If you like what I do, please subscribe, and the subscribing always obviously helps with the YouTube stuff. And if you also like what I do, don't forget to buy me coffee. These videos that I do are not sponsored in any way, shape or form. And there we go, that is one repaired laptop, and hopefully that button won't go again. By the way, if you're interested, replacement buttons, pads are about 60 quid if we needed to actually replace it. Thanks for watching, see you again soon, bye for now.